All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are very fortunate today to have the most unbelievable, extraordinary real estate entrepreneur, April Fools. No, I'm just kidding. Rochelle Vannoy. All right, Rochelle. Rochelle, you have to hit *6 on your phone so you can unmute yourself. *6, please.
All right. Technology, we got it.
All right. Well, thank you for taking your time out today. I really appreciate it. Now, okay.
You're welcome.
Because there could be somebody on here who doesn't know you. I'd find that hard to believe. So take a minute, please, and just tell them a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this, all that good stuff.
I have been selling real estate in the Vegas market for 19 years now. You can believe it.
Wow.
I know. And I'm an individual agent. I'm not a team. I do have a full-time assistant. And I sell the whole valley. I sell Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, Pahrump. Believe it or not, I even have a listing right now out in Amargosa. And if you don't know where that is, look on a map.
Which direction is it out of town?
It is outside of Pahrump, so it's kind of off of the 372 between here and California.
Roger that. All right, cool. All right, and always in the top 3 of your office, always in the top 20 of the company in transactions. So I just tell them that so they know what you do works. You're doing incredible. And I tell people all the time, you're one of the most lean and mean. When I don't mean mean as in your attitude. I just mean lean and mean because it rhymes. As far as the amount of money you spend versus the money you make. All right. And which is good. I think that's really, especially with the way average sale prices have gone up in the last few years, it makes a lot of sense to stay lean and mean like this. Would you agree?
I definitely agree. I mean, I've been doing it that way for a long time. I just, for technology and for people to get my money, they have to prove to me that whatever widget they have works. Mm-hmm. And very few can do that. So that's why I don't use their widgets.
Their widgets. I love it. And the thing is that because you're willing to get on the phone, go door knocking, network, you do all of those. And if you're willing to do that, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get high returns, right?
I agree. Yeah. I mean, if you're the one generating rather than sitting back and waiting, then you're the one in control. And then you're the one who has your foot on the brake or the gas.
Right.
Depending on how much you want to work and how motivated you are to meet whatever goal you have.
Yep. That's the key. How important is your goal? I mean, if you want to achieve it, you can do it. If you want, if you want to come up with excuses, there's all kinds of excuses. So give me a little idea of your areas of being proactive. What are your favorites and what do you do on a daily basis?
I have an affirmation partner. I've had an affirmation partner for over a decade now. I've switched person, but as far as doing affirmations, I personally really like affirmations in the morning. And yes, you could just say them to yourself or, write them out, but saying them to another person who is also like-minded, meaning someone who also has their own affirmations and supports you, I think that gets your day off on the right foot. And then I have role play partners. I've already role played this morning and got all that out of the way and already started working. So my work day starts at 7 in the office, and then it finishes at 6 o'clock. And I do work many lead sources. I work expireds, old expireds, just listed, just sold, probate, past clients, realtors, you name it.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, you get on the phone, you talk to people, you go, I mean, you just do the things that, I mean, there's such efficient ways of making money and helping your clients and, you know, doing the right thing versus, you know, like spend and chase. Spend and chase is not the best way to do it, even though a lot of people do it. It's just not as efficient or as effective, and that's why you're able to do the amount of production you do and keep the amount of money you keep because of the fact that your overhead, I mean, other than your split and your assistant, your overhead is pretty much zero, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have a coach, I have an assistant, but yeah, I don't really, I haven't sent a postcard out yet this year. I do a newsletter to my database that does get mailed, but really that's one of my most expensive marketing expenses. So.
Well, good. So what, these last couple weeks, most of the people I'm talking to have seen a little uptick, maybe even the spring market has sprung. What are you seeing?
To be honest, I think this year so far has been pretty good. I mean, I've already got, I think, 10 deals closed this year.
Nice.
And I've already taken 15 listings this year. And
nice.
So there is business out there. I think 2024 is definitely going to be better than 2023.
That's what it's looking like for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Fed just came out last week. And look, I'm not saying you need good interest rates to be, first, the rates are already good. They're not ballistic like they were in the past, but they're already good. But, you know, so I'm not saying you need great rates, but the Fed did come out and say they're going to be lowering. They're still going to stick to that at least three reductions this year, which, you know, sparked the rates to go down a little last week, sparks the market. But I think people have, at this point, have accepted what they are. And at some point, you know, within 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, they'll be able to refinance. And if you want to buy a home, I mean, you should be doing it soon because if the rates come down a point, which is possible, you know, it'll be like a feeding frenzy out there.
Yeah, I agree. When rates drop, it's going to go nuts. And the best advice you could be giving anybody that's a buyer right now is buy now.
Yeah.
Buy now. And they can always refinance and get the lower rate. But if rates do drop and there is a feeding frenzy, because we don't have tons of inventory out there. I mean, it's not, you know, 2020 again, but it is not 2010 either. So
right.
There needs to, you know, people need to understand that if rates do drop significantly, there will be a lot of people jumping in and out. So there will be some of these people who have the 3.5% interest rate on their primary residence that don't want to sell until lower rates come so they can buy at a lower rate. They will put something out there, but, you know, there was a study that was done, and they looked over a 20-year period, and the people who were waiting for the perfect interest rate had to end up waiting 20 years. So it was just a crazy stat, and it just tracked rates. And, you know, and during that time, if they would have waited the 20 years, the house that cost $200,000 would have cost $400,000. So, right. I mean, ultimately, them getting the best rate ended up costing them lots and lots and lots of money, because if you think about the fact, not only did prices go up doubling, but they paid rent that whole time and threw God knows how much money away. So in my opinion, for a buyer, as long as they can afford the purchase of the property, it is a good time to buy, period.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. And what we know about Vegas, because of our average sale price here, is if you can afford to rent with the deposit and the monthly payment, you
probably have almost enough to get to buy.
You do, or really close, or, you know, I mean, but now California, that would not be accurate. Even parts of Vegas, that's not accurate, but still it's a unique part of the country where you can own for the same or less than renting. And then when you factor in appreciation, you know, you're going to pay down your mortgage, especially at today's interest rates, and tax benefits. It doesn't compare. If you're renting it close to 2,000 or even over like 1,700, you're just uninformed, is what it is, or you don't care. Some people just don't care.
Some people don't. You know, they're just here for a pit stop, and that is the perfect person to have as your renter, right? Someone who's a professional that's just not staying in Las Vegas full time, long term. What is also interesting, though, that you can explain to anybody like that you run across is that even if they don't intend to stay in the house for the next 20 years or 10 years or whatever, even if they're only here for 2 years, they could then rent it pretty easily for another couple of years and then sell it and cash in on quite a bit of equity versus spending money on rent themselves. So truly, for most individuals, it is a win-win all the way around.
Absolutely. Good. Any other observations about today's market that you think would be valuable to share with them?
Observations about the market. Let's see.
Yeah, you've been doing this for a while, like you just said, 19 years, and is there anything else that you think that's kind of unique with what's going on right now? I mean, I have a few myself, but I just wanted to see what you thought.
I think right now the public is confused a little bit about what has been going on in the media.
Right.
I had a buyer this past weekend who asked me how much she had to pay me to have me help her. And I explained, of course, that, the property that they were purchasing. Anyways, so that's why I say that. Sellers are a little confused, buyers are a little confused, and agents are a little confused, frankly. But long story short, I'm not worried about that. That'll all figure itself out in the wash. As far as the market trends, for anyone who is buying and selling in the same market, you don't have to ever wait for prices to go up or down. I think that the next 6 months will be pretty good. I think just like any election year, when we get close to the election time, things will slow down for a minute. And then hopefully we'll have a good kick at the very end.
Yeah. I think we're going to see some changes that, this election, I think, is going to, I agree with you. And let's face it, the media has never been as bad as they are right now with, steering people in the wrong direction or just outright lying. They don't let the truth get in the way of their story, which is really unfortunate. And you're right. So you have people out there that we've had people call in and say, am I getting a rebate? Because I bought a house a year ago from you guys. Yeah. People think, I overpaid my commission. What I heard on CNN, I'm like, yeah, okay, Certified Nitwit Network. That's what that stands for. That's pretty much what they're all about. But so I mean, it's amazing the information out there. But once again, I think ultimately it's going to be good. And I did this on a video last week, is because it makes us do what we should have been doing. And I know you already did this, but which is explain. When you work with a seller, you explain what you're going to do. You explain the fiduciary responsibility. Well, when you work with a buyer, you should have to do the same thing and have them hire you by signing a contract, which I think is, really, that came out in the mid-'90s, buyer agency.
It's been around really, since I've been in the industry. Yeah.
Yeah, it should have taken 3, 4, 5 years to kick in, and then, we should have been using it, since then. But very few people have. And I know there's a bunch of people on this call that do use it. My theory is the shorter amount of time you've been in the business, the easier it is for you to understand. Matter of fact, some of them just have been using a buyer broker agreement since they got in the business, and they're like, so this doesn't really change anything for me. Not right now, it doesn't, because you're already one step ahead of everybody else.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And, I'm sure like most of the people on the call, I don't really want to talk about it because it doesn't really matter. Nothing's really been figured out. It'll be months and months and everything will change. So anything you waste your time and energy on right now, so what I tell people and what I do is, just focus on today. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can do to get your goals for your life taken care of, period. And everything else, don't waste your energy on, because in the end of the game, you're going to regret the time that you spent on somebody else's goal versus your goal.
Right. Good advice. Good advice. Okay, so we're at that part where I love to ask you top 3 things, okay, to be successful in today's world as a real estate professional, entrepreneur. That's really what you are. Everybody on this call is an independent contractor. So you have to do things that cause you to get paid, right? So what would be your top 3 things for them to know?
Top 3 things to do to get paid?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Yes, I love that.
Top 3 things to do to get paid in this industry. Always be prospecting. You own your own business. You're in charge of your business. Whatever form of prospecting you do, but you always have to be generating, because if you're not generating, then you're not in control. They are.
Mm-hmm. Love that one.
Track everything you do, because without knowing what worked and what didn't, you're floundering like a ship without a rudder. So as much as it may be annoying sometimes, you need to know, okay, so you helped Betty Sue. Where in the heck did Betty Sue come from? How did you get her? Can you do that again? Great. If you can, how often can you do that again, right? And so without knowing that, it's like shooting darts at a board with no target.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number 2. Number 3 is take care of yourself. You are the money maker. If you're broken, the business can't run. So being aware of when you need a day off, time off, when you need to kick yourself in the butt and get yourself going, and rewarding yourself. We are usually the hardest person on ourselves. I know you tell me that all the time, than anybody. So what I've heard before, I don't always listen, but what I've heard before is, think about what your self-talk is to yourself. And would you say that to your friends or family or anybody else? And if the answer is no, then you need to really be kinder to yourself and respect who you are as a person, and give yourself little rewards so that the self-talk gets better.
Love it. I love it. Yeah. Well, I think you're tough on yourself, but I do have somebody in my coaching who I call, and if he's on, he'll know exactly who I'm talking to. I call him the most productive suicidal person I know.
Yeah, I'm not suicidal.
His self-talk,
no, definitely not.
His self-talk is so bad that he almost sounds suicidal. I tell him that all the time, and he laughs. But I'm like,
really
dude.
Is,
yeah,
it's a balancing, because you've got to be the disciplinarian on yourself, but you also have to be the grandma or, the person who takes you out for ice cream in the middle of the day and you haven't had lunch, right? You've got to be that person to yourself too. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
I have a really cute thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I want to hear it.
Someone sent me this, and it was so apropos, I wanted to share. Okay. It says, if you spend your time chasing butterflies, they'll fly away. But if you spend your time making a beautiful garden, the butterflies will come to you. When you focus on improving yourself, everything you want will come to you. We attract based on who we are, not who we want to be. Don't chase, attract. And so, Karen Hardy a long time ago gave me the idea, and other people have done it too besides him. Tony Robbins is a big proponent of it. And so there's quite a few mega millionaires that are. And it's basically you have to improve yourself to become the person who deserves the goals that you've set. The person you are today is the result of what you've done for the last however long, right? If you don't like who you are when you look in the mirror, whether it's your weight, whether it's your money, whether it's your family situation, whatever it is of the 5 areas of your life, the 5 principles, you are okay to change it. No one has your feet in cement and said that you're not allowed to change. You can change at any point in your life, but to do that, you have to become the person who deserves a different life.
Nice. I love it.
So anyway.
Yeah, I love it. It's so true because, and I even talk about this in my coaching, it's better to be a person of attraction versus a person of promotion. In other words, if you're doing the right stuff, if you're presenting the right way, people want to work with you. If you're telling them how wonderful you are, then you're really repelling them. Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
So true.
100%. So let your actions speak for your worth versus your words.
So always be prospecting. I love it. Track everything. As a matter of fact, tell them what your contact per closing, just so they can see, as proof as to that you track everything. What is your contact per closing number?
86.
86. So that means every time Rochelle Vannoy talks to 86 people, she has a closing. You go, what? Yeah, that factors in her appointments. That factors in everything. 86 contacts, gets paid. So let's do this. What's your average commission right now?
I think it's about
Maybe you already
14.
know that. What's your 14?
It's 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I work all price points.
So you make $163 per contact.
I actually have a little note on my board because if I get to where I want to be, it'll be $193 for every now.
Every time you talk to a human, whether they tell you to go get hit by a bus or come over and live to my house, you're going to make $193. Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. I'm not there yet, but hey, that's today, not tomorrow.
And you've been prospecting for a long time now, so you've heard just about everything over the phone, haven't you?
Oh, God, yes. It's funny. I laugh sometimes. I'm like, wow, that was a good one. That was new. I got to write that one down.
Yeah, that's funny because that's what I used to call it, too. You consider it entertainment when most people take it personally.
They don't know you from Adam.
Right. Well, that's because of your time doing. When you've been doing it long enough, it doesn't bother because they're not talking to you. You just happen to pick somebody on a Monday that's not in a great mood.
In the wrong place at the wrong time for them, right? That's all.
That's all it is.
Some of them, I'm really glad I'm not them because their lives must be pretty horrible.
Exactly. I love it. All right, great attitude. All right, any final words you want to leave these lovely people today?
Go out there and do something today for yourself.
I love it. Go out there and do something today for yourself. And everything you just mentioned is that, right? And I love to take care of yourself too, because you got to be healthy, all right, in order to enjoy it. Because if you're going to be saving money and have a great retirement, which sounds wonderful, you might as well be healthy so you can enjoy it.
So do you have 2 minutes, Rick?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So I was in Pahrump on Saturday. Sorry, had to think what day it was.
No problem.
And there was a race that was going on, a foot race from Pahrump to Las Vegas, whether anybody knew it or not. And in case you didn't know, it rained all day in Pahrump where they started. It actually snowed in the past. They had 2 inches of snow when I drove back through, and it continued to snow. As you know, Mount Charleston got 11 inches. And these crazy people were still out there running. Now, would I have run? No. If I would have bought a ticket to do this race, I would have said, sorry, I like my life. Thank you. Goodbye. But there was some person, and I say that very nicely, it was a gentleman, in shorts and a T-shirt. He had a poncho that they gave him to try and help him from the rain and snow, running up the mountain pass.
Wow.
Now, I don't have that kind of dedication, but that gives you some idea, guys. Some people have an absolute unbending will to achieve what they set their mind on. And I'm sure he finished the race because he was in the lead. But it's just kind of crazy, you know. That was mind-boggling to me to see that.
Yeah, but you're right, because it's important. Whatever's important to you, you will find reasons why you can, and whatever's not important enough, you'll come up with reasons why you can't, otherwise known as excuses. So I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you very much for your time, Rochelle Vannoy. That was awesome. I really appreciate you taking your time out. I'm sure everybody else does, and I'm sure they got some nuggets. Everybody else will do this again in a week. Thanks, Rochelle. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye, Rick.
Bye. Thank you.